Well, joining us now in our studios, Professor Dreze, one of the world's finest development economists and also somebody so closely attached to that Right to Food Act. Thank you very much for joining us. So we've heard so much about NREGA, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. We've also got several acts in the country which protect children. Do we really need, and hunger and their development. Do we really need one more act to ensure food security?
Well, I really do think so, and just to convey the point, on the way to the studio I bought a little food basket here, and if you allow me to display it, this is a very simple food basket. It's what a family of 5 would need for reasonably balanced, nutritious diet. Nothing extravagant, no fish, no meat, not even tea and sugar. For example, for breakfast I'm allowing 1 banana, and that too not a great banana, per person. 1 egg, just 1 egg per person, and 1 glass of milk, so 1 liter between 5 persons. So it's nothing great. It costs breakfast alone 60 rupees for a family of 5, and the entire basket with the cheapest vegetables, cheapest dal, 235 rupees per day for a family of 5. So the point I'm trying to make is a very simple point of grassroots economics, which is that nutritious food is unaffordable for most people in rural India, or for that matter even many in urban India. And that is why we are demanding a comprehensive act to protect the right to food. It's true that acts like NREGA or the Supreme Court orders on midday meals have helped to protect some aspects of the right to food, but it's not enough. I mean, talk of NREGA, it's 100 days at a maximum of 100 rupees per day.
Sure.
Even supposing you were to get that, you would still be very far from the 235 rupees that you need for nutritious food. So therefore, we also need a whole range of other things, including a universal PDS, midday meals for school-going children.
But I wanted to ask you about that universal PDS, actually, because we already have that below poverty line label. Why is it that many people argue now that below poverty line is just as a label is completely not good enough to ensure universal access to food in this country? Because that's what it was meant to do,
I think the basic point is that any BPL identification methods is both unreliable as well as divisive. To illustrate, according to National Sample Survey data, among the poorest 20% of rural households, 53% don't have a BPL card. So among the poorest households, more than half don't have a BPL card. Now, of course, you can try to improve the identification method, how it's implemented, and so on and so forth. But fundamentally, it's a kind of hit-and-miss approach, which will leave a lot of people out.
And you have numbers for Kerala.
That's completely incompatible with the whole notion of right to food. By contrast, as we saw, Tamil Nadu has a universal system, which means not only that everybody is in, but also that those who are in, most of them actually get their food on time, because there's a united public pressure for a working system. Whereas in a place like Bihar, you have only the poorest who are in the system, and nobody really cares. And as Amartya Sen once said, services for the poor often end up being poor services. So we want a universal system in which everyone has a stake in a functioning system.
Professor Dreze, you are an inspiration for so many people across the country. Thank you so much for reminding us about the importance of something so basic and something that we often miss as journalists. Thank you so much.
Tuba.com